When I become president, immediately I disband EACC. It is a washing machine. EACC is the washing machine for State House. Any governor who has stolen goes to EACC, then they come out clean, that they have been cleared. The problem is economic. Who is the most qualified economist in Kenya to solve it, if not Fred Ogola? I told the president that your economic model called bottom-up has never worked anywhere. It is not working anywhere and will not work here. Is it working? It's not working. A revolution is never televised. It comes as breaking news.
Well, hello, great to see you. Welcome back to these amazing conversations right here at the Kenya Times. Conversations that not only shapes our governance system, but also the political landscape. And my guest today is not a new face right here, because a few months ago he was right here, and today is back again as an aspiring president of the Republic of Kenya. I'm talking of none other than Professor Fred Ogola, who is right here in studio. We are going to discuss so much pertaining his ambitions to become the president of this great country of Kenya. He had a tour 2 weeks ago at the New York. Those are part of the conversation we are going to have. Remember to follow us throughout this conversation until the end. I'm your host, Nixon Joe. Prof, welcome.
Thank you very much, Nixon.
Amazing to see you.
Yes.
Once again.
Yeah, thank you, my brother, for having me. Yes.
How is the going?
I think things are taking shape, and I believe that the Kenyans should have hopes, because for the first time, they are going to have somebody who is running for president who is not being sent by anybody, someone who has been sent to solve Kenyan problem. And I think that I am not anybody's project. If you look at since we began, I've been told that there are two ways to become president. Yes. One is to enter the system, then the system produces you. Another way is to come in, rock the system, then you become president. And I think that when I become president in 2027, I'll be the only one who has come from outside, rock the system, and become president. Because you see, Kenyatta was produced by Mau Mau. Yes. Moi was produced by the Kenyatta administration. Then, of course, Kibaki was again produced by the system. He worked in government for long. And, of course, Uhuru Kenyatta the same. And Ruto actually the same. He rose from being an MP to deputy president to being president. So I've heard some people saying, well, why don't you start by being an MP? You know, the Kenyan problem cannot wait for me to be an MP first for 5 years, then another governor for 5 years. The Kenyan problem cannot wait. The people dying of hunger today, isn't it? The people who cannot afford healthcare are suffering today. Somebody who is in the cold without clothes is suffering today. I believe in the philosophy of St. Francis of Assisi, who was that you cannot wait to give the poor person what they want. So the Kenyan problem can't wait, and therefore it can't happen. And there's examples. When I was in Trump Towers in the US, I looked through timelines of Trump's life. They were showing me, and Trump was never in politics. Trump came from outside, disrupted the system, and became president. Then again, they disrupted him, and he got his one term. Then he came back again, and he's having his second term. So I'm sure that's interesting.
Yes, we'll talk more about that. But 2 weeks ago, you had a tour to the New York. And a few months ago, you declared officially your bid to the presidential ambition in 2027.
Yeah.
First, Prof, what made you to declare for the presidency in 2027?
You see, Nixon, some of these things, they began, and sometimes when I look back, some people are telling me they were seeing the politician in me, even when I was a lecturer. Me, I was not seeing them. Me, I was seeing myself as a lecturer. Because remember, I was a professor in Strathmore for 12 years. I was teaching economics, strategy, and corporate governance. And then when I was teaching this executive, and I can tell you, I have taught the who is who. Lesiampi, who was the CEO for KNH, was my student in Strathmore.
All right.
James Umwangi was my student. That's the CEO of KCB. The CEO of KCB currently, Paul Russo, was my student in Strathmore. Robert Kibara, the CEO of Housing Finance Bank, was my student in Strathmore. Some of them, I even coached them. They are interviewed to become CEOs. But that explains you why I'm changing career. So I used to be in a class teaching these guys about corporate governance. Even I can even say Josephat Nanok, who is the current Deputy State House Controller, was my student. So I can count them. I've made 37 CEOs in Kenya. Currently, they are CEOs at the moment. I've trained them. Even Jeff Odundo, the CEO of a Nation Media Group, was my student. So I can count them, but I'm not here to count them. You can go do your research. But when I was teaching them corporate governance, I teach good practice. But when you come out, you find that the corruption is the order of the day. You find misgovernance, the issues. I ask myself, can I really change the world by teaching people in class, but the environment in which they work cannot allow them to practice good corporate governance? Now, if you are a CEO of Housing Finance, you are a CEO of KCB, Ruto came with Hustler Fund, brought in KCB inside, which was a scam. You see now he destroys KCB, but my students is running KCB. I taught the former CEO of Kenha, Peter Muidinia was my student. Now, if Peter Muidinia was running Kenha, but then you find that the person who is the president cannot allow him to do what I'm teaching him, then do we need to be changing from the classroom, or we have to go to the street? So it means we have to go to the street. When I was in Wall Street, we said, let us move from Wall Street to Main Street. So that's where things work. So I found that the epicenter of change is not in the classroom.
Okay.
You cannot change the world by teaching. Even Mwalimu Julius Nyerere moved from being a teacher to being a president.
Yes.
So I'm saying that even teachers have made some of the best presidents. And actually a teacher of economics should even do better. Because Mwalimu Nyerere was not a teacher of economics. And I discovered that what is the Kenyan problem? The Kenyan problem is economic. Who is the most qualified economist in Kenya to solve it, if not Fred Ogola? If you doubt me, then you can ask me why was I in New York, in the epicenter of financial global center of the world, talking to over 300 world-renowned economists, telling them that the economic model is wrong, which is Western thinking, European thinking, American thinking, and they need to adopt the Solomonic economic model, which I'm the author, and that is the solution for Africa, Kenya, and the global. So because the Kenyan problem is economic, I'm the most qualified economist. Singapore was turned around by the most qualified economist in the name of Lee Kuan Yew. The current president of Singapore is the most decorated economist. Then if I know the Kenyan problem is economic and I have a solution which is Solomonic economics, and why should I not declare? And if you're the most qualified, if I keep quiet, God will ask me, with the talents he gave me, did I just teach in the class while I can change the economy of Kenya?
Yes. And what was the intention of the New York tour?
Well,
because we saw you there visiting various places in the New York. How was it for you?
First of all, Nixon, before you become, I've taught corporate strategy. Before you launch a product, the product must pass through different phases. So you as Nelson, before you become a husband, you must pass through the process. For example, human beings, you are born first, you have through initiation, then you go through some kind of rituals, then you become married. You see, there's a process. Even before you wed a lady, you must actually propose. So before you declare presidential ambition, you must have stages. So the first stage was, first of all, become a party leader, and I founded a party called Hekima Alliance Party. The second stage was asking, I don't want to become president as an end in itself. I developed an economic model, which I call Evolve. One day we shall explain it, but that's the economic ideology. Because I don't want to run for president for the sake of it. I have to have an economic ideology. Then secondly, I had to go look for who is Fred Ogola. Even Obama left to the US to come here to look for his roots. Who is Obama? So I had to go to Kibra, where I grew up. I had to go to Kenya. I went to Magongo Bokole in Mombasa because I also worked there, just to shoot and find out people, talk to people. What do you think about Fred Ogola? In Kibra, they told me what they know about me is I used to cry so much and my eyes used to be red. So I went to Magongo, they told me that I used to be very angry, very fast. So those are things that you have to learn. What do they think about me? And when I went to other places I work, they told me what they know is that I'm an honest person, that if I'm happy, you can tell. If I'm not happy, you can tell. I don't pretend. So you see, that's the things of soul searching. So I produced a video showing who is Fred Ogola. If you go to YouTube, if you just Google Evolve with Professor Fred Ogola, you will see a 3 minutes 45 seconds introductory video, who is Fred Ogola. You can get to know who that man is.
Absolutely.
So that was actually the third step. The fourth step was to launch a presidential advisory team, because your presidency is like running a parallel government. When you're running for president, you cannot run alone. I'm seeing some people who are just running alone. You cannot run alone because you need a team. So I launched the team. The fourth step was to do media tour. So I went to several media houses. People asked me questions. Why are you running? Why are you running? And that was done.
To explain to people.
Then the sixth one was to go to New York. Why was I going to New York? Kenyans are in diaspora. At the same time, I wanted to understand this my economic thinking. Can it be tried and tested in a global space? Because Kenya will not operate in a vacuum. Africa cannot work in a vacuum. So you must go and say, what does World Bank think about it? What does IMF think about it? What does the World Trade Center think about it? I was at WTO building. I think you saw those shooters. Yes. You have to go, what does Wall Street think about it? Because I presented this book in Kenya. It was launched in Kenya. Many Kenyans have read it, but I also want to go outside there to make people understand that what I want to do. Because now, New York understand what my presidency will look like. The World Trade Center understand my presidency will look like this. So they must prepare for the economic ideology of my presidency. We cannot be putting it under the table, then you wake up with it after you become president. Oh, this is surprising. Yes. They know I will not be taxing people. I will not be overtaxing people. They know I don't think about affordable housing. They now know that for healthcare, for me, my ideology is different. Education is different. I will not be going so much for too many degrees. I'll go for vocational training to create jobs for people. They know my number one priority is that everybody deserves to have a job. So New York was that you have to go to the global center of capitalism, but also there's also social democratism in there. Social Democrat who was elected as mayor of New York City, that is Mamdani. Yes. Actually, I was campaigning against him, but of course, that's a story for another day. Yes. So this was a place for being tried and tested. First of all, they asked me a question. You call yourself a Solomonic economist. What, is it just branding or there's economics behind Solomonic? And I proved to them. From the beginning of economics, the first form of economics was hunting and gathering. Then the second form of economics was agrarian, where people do agriculture to produce. The third form of economics is industrialization, where people now manufacture to earn something. Then the fourth one is deindustrialization, where the service sector of the economy is more important than the manufacturing sector. And the last one is reindustrialization, where now you use big data, you use AI, you use robotics to produce. And I told them that Africa cannot follow that route, because Africa is, most African countries, 62% of the economy is service sector. If you come to Kenya, media, technology, banking, insurance, consultancy, their education sector, they have become bigger contributor than manufacturing. So why do we need to go back to what Britain was doing 2,000 years ago? So Africa cannot walk the route of Europe. And I told them, we are not going to be Euronomics, we will not be Americanomics, we shall be Solomonic. And then the other thing which is unique about this thing, which they asked me, okay, which are the leading world economics? I told them, during the global financial crisis, when I was an economist, European Central Bank, there was a crisis of 4 countries. And you know, Nixon, what made me happy, and I'm very proud as an African, because you heard that Wazungus came to discover Kenya, isn't it? Yes. Some of them came and named Mount Kenya, isn't it? So I told them, economically, I will name your countries. So you remember the countries you are suffering the most were Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. So I named them pigs. Why? So pigs is P for Portugal, I for Italy, G for Greece, and S for Spain. I said, these pigs is the problem for Europe. So as an economist, I went to turn around pigs, nguruwe, so that at least they can become cows. Do you know the difference between a cow and a nguruwe? For you to gain from a cow, you can gain from a cow through milk, isn't it? Yes. But nguruwe must die. A pig must die to eat. Can you eat anything from a pig before it's dead? So Greece, Spain, all those countries were looking piggish. So I said, I will have an economic idea to turn around pigs into something useful. Now, I looked from all economists, from Adam Smith, Ricardo, Keynesian, all the economists of our time. They could not solve the European problem. The only solution was Solomonic economics. So I'm telling them, Solomonic economics, founded in Africa by an son of Africa, will solve the global problem, not just African problem, but European problems and American problems. And I showed them with an algorithm how it can work.
But
they end up buying 200 books and endorsed it. Yes.
Allow me to cut you short.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, the Solomonic revolution,
Yeah.
do people from the grassroots, Kenyans from the grassroots level, understand all these, what you're saying? Because what you're saying, basically, it is literate people who can understand.
Yeah.
And you need votes even from the grassroots, from the grandmothers out there in the village. How
But you see,
they understand all
that
this?
is a very fair question. But we have to begin. We have to begin with something which is understandable, which has a theoretical underpinning. I know where you are going to. Ruto came with a bottom-up economic model, isn't it? It was not written anywhere, because you can ask me, who is the author of bottom-up economic model? Who is the publisher? Which book published it? It doesn't exist as an economic theory. You understand? And I went on TV and said, this is a fake economic model with no author, no publisher, isn't it? No book you have seen written bottom-up economic model. So first of all, we have to test scientifically that there's Solomonic economics existing as an economy. That's why I went to New York. But now I'm coming back here, and we've now turned it around to be called Evolve. So Evolve is E, economic turnaround. Which sectors of the economy in Kenya is not performing? You know them. Sugar, tea, coffee, apparel, textile, turn them around. E. V, value addition. We have to produce, we have to manufacture, so that we can actually be able to lower our interest rates, we can be able to lower our exchange rate, we can lower the debt, isn't it? And then you can generate excess money and generate jobs, isn't it? Or optimize talent. Africa has potential. Africa has got talent. How can we optimize the talent of the youth in music, arts, isn't it? Technology, and sports, isn't it?
Sports, yeah.
That's the opposite of what the president is doing. Instead of young people throwing stones and carrying placards demonstrating, they are supposed to be working and producing. Optimized talent. Women are good in agribusiness, they're good in entrepreneurship. How can we empower them? Those are understood by Kenya, isn't it? Then L is leverage partnerships. How can we work with partners to develop Kenya instead of borrowing all the time? The president only has two tools. One is borrow to generate debt. Two, tax. So you tax to pay debt. Yet Kenya can produce and stop borrowing. So we are talking about partnerships that can help build the airport. Partnerships can be able to help build our roads. Partnerships that can invest in our education. Partnerships that can be able to invest in our healthcare, among other food security and other things. Then of course V is vulnerability management. Who is vulnerable? Youth, women, children. Some regions are vulnerable. So that's still Solomonic. And then lastly, environmental stewardship. How can you take advantage of blue economy? How can you keep the environment working and doing? So it can be understood. And I've put these things in all the 47 counties. What are the three most important industries? And let me just give you something interesting. When somebody asked me the same question before I went to New York, how can you explain Evolve to a common mwananchi?
Yes.
Do you know what I did? I went to Kenyatta Market and took 5 fish and 2 loaves, isn't it? And I told them with 5 fish and 2 loaves, Jesus fed 5,000, isn't it? But we are still feeding 5,000 now, because during Jesus' time, the population was only 5,000. Now, do you know that we are more than 50 million? Kenya is 56 million. So what do I mean by that analogy? When Kenyatta became president, he only fed his friends, cronies, and relatives. There were only 5,000.
Really?
Yes, of course. How many people were rich in Kenyatta government? They cannot be more than 5,000, isn't it? Moi came and did the same, isn't it? Whom did Moi make? You can name them, Akina Kalonzo,
The likes of even the current president.
Yes, you can name them, isn't it? So those ones are just few millionaires who are made, isn't it? Then Uhuru came also, picked his 5,000 and fed only 5,000. Uhuru cabinet, you know them. The scandals, the ones who stole money, you know them, isn't it? You move again to Kibaki, the same, isn't it? You move to Ruto also, just a few people who are billionaires. There is a billionaire cabinet. It was supposed to be a hustler, serikali mama mboga na boda boda. Sometimes you say evolve means move from feeding 5,000 to 56 million. So this economy should be for all Kenyans. That's why my political party called Hekima Alliance is about the least, the lost, and the last. So you can realize that Solomonic economics can be understood in simple terms as well. Okay. So in New York, they were testing the theoretical underpinning of it, the philosophical foundation of Solomonic economics. But also, apart from just that, I was in New York also to reach out to partners who can help. For example, I went to Wall Street. I made a presentation to an organization called Solana. They are willing to work with young people to do blockchain technology, software development, and partner with young people to do that. And they don't have to come here. All right. In fact, they don't have to give conditions like we are being told, oh, they must be able to do supply. No, it's just like, I'm just waiting to do space meeting between youth and them. Then the youth can understand how they operate and can go to blockchain. For example, there's a new thing they're developing which is called Jelly Jelly. Okay. You know, Jelly Jelly is more advanced than TikTok. They download it. I have it on my phone. It is amazing. Can you imagine? It is
a social media platform?
Yes. Okay. I have it in Kenya. I want the Kenyans to check in and enter. Okay. Can you imagine if you talk to Jelly Jelly as you record something that looks like a TikTok thing, as soon as you finish, it tells you the headline, what you are talking about. But no, in TikTok, you have to describe what were you saying. Yes. Jelly will do that automatically. I'll do this with you.
Even the captioning and so on.
Yes, I will do with you after this show is wonderful. Then secondly, when you do space meeting on Jelly, after you finish the meeting, it will send you the minutes automatically. So it's more advanced. So how can young people take advantage of these things and scale with it? So it was about partnerships as well. And of course, when you want to run an election, you need funding. Yeah. And of course,
that was where I was coming from.
Yes.
We all know that Kenyan campaigns and political positions need a lot of resources. We are talking of funding during campaign season and so on. How are you going to sort that? Because especially for the presidency, you need millions of money, not even millions, billions.
I think Nelson
to fund the campaigns and so on.
Nelson, we were with you during the dinner. And when the book launch for J.B. Muturi was being done, what did he say? What did he say? Because if I say people think it is me who said it, what did he say?
he talked about the funding.
He told me, welcome back, Professor Ogola, from your presidential campaign in the U.S. Yes. Do Americans vote in Kenya?
Yes.
Americans vote indirectly. They can fund you. Yeah. So I can assure you that the issue of funding will not be a problem for my campaign. You know, you never tell these things in details because you'll hear tomorrow they are
where are you going to get those money and funding?
The money is not the problem. First of all, why did Americans call me? They didn't call me because I have money. They called me because of my vision. In fact, a great vision brings money. So I can tell you money won't be a problem. And Nixon, I want to tell Kenyans who have this mentality of money, remove money aside. I grew up in Kibra. If you ask someone I'll be a world-class professor, they'll tell you no. But my vision of being professor was so compelling that I had to become.
But Prof.
So my vision to become the President of the Republic of Kenya is so compelling, and the world will conspire to get that money, and I'll get to State House.
But Prof, let us be realistic. Because we all understand the nature of our politics. And we know that even going out there, looking for votes, back in the village, back in the ground, they demand something. So you cannot say that, let us not think about money. Money should be
yes, but I'm saying,
something.
Listen, Nixon. How much do you think is a flight to New York? New York, we have to pass through Atlantic and Pacific. And then the Amazon. For example, from here, I flew to Doha, 6 hours. Then from Doha to New York is 13 hours. That's 19 hours. Now, the flight from Doha to New York, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the same plane. You're just sitting. You're going nowhere, but they bring breakfast, they bring lunch, they bring dinner. When I was coming back for my homecoming,
Yes.
I left on Wednesday and arrived on Friday. Why? Because we lose 7 hours. In New York, you see this cup of tea?
Yes.
You are lucky if you have a big one like this. This one is $11.
$11?
Yes. What is $11? $11 is almost 1,400, isn't it? For us here, it's a whole kettle of tea. Now, we have not talked about a taxi. From the airport to the CBD is around $95. You get me?
Yes.
Hotel statement, you can be told 150 per night. I was there for more than 2 weeks. If that could be afforded, isn't it? Why are you worried about money for campaign? Or you want me to tell you how big is my wallet?
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, I know that. In fact, before you run for president, you must do your SWOT, isn't it? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? And money is one of them. And there's no point of me telling you like someone said, I have 2 million. No. For me, I know I have an infinite amount of money.
Okay.
Because the source has not given me the limit. Once I start tapping into the source, you will feel it. For Justin Muturi to consider me as a presidential candidate, so you think I don't have money. He knows what I know, isn't it? And then let me give you practically. When I landed from the airport, I had a motorcade that went through Mlolongo, went through to Kitengela, talking about release Bob Njagi and Oyo. Were they not released? I had people saying, oh, I had nothing. I knew what was happening. That's why that was my first assignment.
But some have said, Prof, that Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo, for them to be released, it was not even the government intervention. It was all about the former president's intervention, Uhuru Kenyatta, who intervened for that.
Okay, let me tell you something. People can say what they want, but this is the truth. I was in New York City at the headquarters of the UN. I went and demanded to talk to the person in charge of security. Then I asked them a question. Please, do you know where Bob Njagi is? And Nicholas Oyo, they told me, they'll give me, I said, yeah, they are in Kololo, they have been held somewhere. And they are still alive. When people are saying in Kenya, they must be dead. When I came, why did I didn't go to my house. From the airport, I went to Mlolongo, to Kitengela, telling Ruto, call Museveni. It is only 1 minute, cost 8 shillings. Call Museveni, they'll be released. I said on Friday, they're released on Saturday. Then you tell me, why was Uhuru not doing it earlier? Anyway, I don't want to say I'm taking credit, but now it's you to judge, isn't it? Even if you think it's a joke, you take the 19-hour flight, you leave on Wednesday, you arrive on Friday, you don't go to your house, you go to Mlolongo, you go to Kitengela, you go to Mukuru kwa Ruben, you go to Mukuru kwa Njenga, preaching and asking Ruto, please call Museveni. Then next day they're released. Then you say that's a coincidence.
Prof, let's talk about what you said earlier on one of the media interviews out there. Explain to our audience about your job at Strathmore. You said that after the president won, he contributed to you being fired. Is it true?
But not just me. How many people have lost jobs? When you look at when Ruto became president, the Gazette notice was very busy. If I'm wrong, tell me. So-and-so has been degazetted, so-and-so has been gazetted. That's what was happening. The Gazette notice was the busiest ever. But for me, I told the president that your economic model called bottom-up has never worked anywhere. It is not working anywhere and will not work here. Is it working? It's not working. So then the president confronted me.
When was that?
Before he was sworn in. So he told me he is going to be sworn in on 13th of September. He says after he takes office, his first job will be to fire me. And you know what's happening? If a professor like me is afraid of being fired, what about others? Me, I told him, go ahead. But I thought he was joking, isn't it?
Did he explain to you
because he wanted me to recant my statement that bottom-up economic model is wrong. And I cannot recant even now. Because I'd rather go to my grave saying the truth than go lie. Nixon. So I said, this can't work. So he told me, if I don't recant, his first job will be to fire me. Then on 15th, I received a letter from Strathmore asking me, explain why we cannot fire you. Isn't it? Then I was fired. You understand? But what's happening? I don't have to work in Kenya because the president has sworn that I'll never work in Kenya. You understand?
He told you that?
Go to the media, just go and Google, you can check, you'll see those information there. They are there in the media, YouTube. Actually.
But we are with you.
So I told you,
you are the one to tell us now. Is it true
Nixon,
that he called you and told you that?
Nixon, can you explain why I'm not working anywhere in Kenya? Can you explain it? Do you think I'm unqualified? Those people are saying I'm lying, isn't it? I'm a professor, yet some people are trying to do masters, and I have 5 undergraduate degrees. I have 2 masters. I have a PhD. I have 16 World Bank certification. I can be invited to give a talk in New York, isn't it? In Fordham University, the largest university in the world, the largest city in the world, and I cannot work in Kenya. Can you explain that thing? You explain it to me, because it looks like it's a problem. I was the other day in Rwanda, in Kigali, giving consultancy to companies in Kigali. I was in Juba the other day, working for companies in Juba, and I can't work in Kenya. So how would you explain it? It is the person, the highest authority in the land that has decided I cannot work in Kenya. You get me? And it's not my fault. Actually, I have no problem with him. Because what's happening? I have a living. I've never begged for food, isn't it? I'm able to do my stuff. Did you pay my ticket to New York? I was fired 3 years ago. I'm still here. Because I was fired in the took office. I'm still here. Have I begged for food? I think no one has paid my fuel to come and see you here, isn't it? And I'm not asking for fare back to my house, isn't it? Which means it is not an issue for me. Actually, the president has created a precedent that he does not want people who are capable. When he talks about moving Kenya from third world to first world.
We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Let us now, it is 3 years since the president took over power as the president of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
How far is the governance system in Kenya? How do you explain it currently? Are we in good position or still heading to the right direction?
By the way, to understand this, we have to distinguish between politics and governance. Politics is how to acquire power.
Yes.
Governance is to use that power to offer services to people. Now, if you ask about governance, because how has governance, don't ask me about there's a structure, a legal, no. The question is, are Kenyans getting good healthcare? Because that's governance, isn't it? Because the Bible says the people rejoices when the righteous is ruling. So, are people getting healthcare? Is education improved? Healthcare has reduced, isn't it? Access to healthcare has reduced for people in school, like the ones for Edu Afia has been scrapped. Linda Mamas, they are suffering, isn't it? If you go, there's no medicine hospital, there are no doctors, the strike is everywhere in healthcare industry. You go to education, strike is the order of the day. I'm hearing now you have to pay 53,000 shillings if you're in secondary school. When I was in Seremes Yala, annual fee, when it was not free, maximum we paid was 35,000 a year. Now you're paying 53,000 a year when it is not free. Actually, when it's subsidized. So what are we subsidizing? So education sector has gone down. When Uhuru left, there was 100% transition from secondary to tertiary, isn't it?
Yes.
And then from primary to secondary. Now that figure has gone down by something like, it's either 56% or 48%, thereabout. So when you talk about whether governance has advanced, it has not. Infrastructure, tell me any major infrastructure ongoing now, zero, isn't it? You talk about the issue of corruption. Corruption is the order of day in Kenya. In fact, corruption looks like weather. You say, oh, it's raining, or there's sunshine. It's like you talk about sunshine or rainfall.
But earlier on, we saw President saying that his government is dedicated fully to fight corruption and take those who are involved in corruption to courts and being judged.
You know, Nixon, I think in 2022, I did a video and said that the president is mentally sick and is a pathological liar, isn't it? So I never analyze again what he says. In fact, you should be only visitor in Jerusalem to start analyzing what he says, isn't it? Because, you know, when you lie with no intention, no, when people lie, you can lie to get money, you can lie to get love, you can lie to get wealth. But when you are just lying for the sake of lying, then I ask myself, what are you lying for? So I will never analyze what he says because I know that he means the opposite. You understand? Corruption is the order of day, isn't it? We are now losing 4 billion shillings per day to corruption, per day. During Uhuru, he said we are losing 200 billion. I'm getting these figures from statistics. You understand? Yes. Uhuru said we are losing 2 billion per day to corruption. And he accepted until he finished his term, isn't it? Now Ruto's strategy shows that corruption has doubled from Uhuru's time to Ruto's time. So that's how I get 4 billion. So it's not my statistics. If you go to the media, you saw the double. They said it doubled, isn't it?
And even sometimes back, the Treasury CS complained of this.
Yeah, so
and said billions of money are lost
so then
daily.
Is he fighting corruption? Let me tell you Kenyans how to fight corruption. When I become head of state, we'll take an oath with all the government officials that nobody should receive money from anybody to offer any service. Don't be cheated. Oh, EACC. Oh, no. No. In fact, my economic ideology, which is called Evolve, is about moving forward with prosperity for all Kenyans, isn't it? Kenya will be built by all Kenyans with Kenyan resources all the time, period. I will not go and say, oh, you know, so-and-so stole money, I want to arrest them. Me, I didn't steal money. Me, I don't want to fight people's battles. My battle will be, Kenyans are giving me 9 billion shillings we collect per day in revenue, isn't it? How do I put that money in hospitals? How do I put money in education? How does that money help create jobs? But if I start fighting, oh, I see Uhuru, Suji stole this one, I don't want to go to people's past. Because when you go to the past, you'll start now fighting with people. My role is that the authorities in Kenya should go look for the money that was stolen before. But as president, you account for what you are given. The first check that comes to me, I'll use it well. And no one will be allowed to steal money. In fact, if the president says, I don't want stolen money, no one can steal.
Okay.
So it starts with the president. EACC, do you know why EACC is close to State House? Or you think it was just a coincidence? It is not even 200 meters, like 150 meters from State House. So EACC is the washing machine for State House. Any governor who has stolen goes to EACC, then they come out clean, that they have been cleared.
Prof, are you sure of that?
I'm sure. Let me give you statistics. President Kenyatta Sr., under him, we lost 200 billion. Moi, under him, which was 24 years, we lost 1.2 trillion. Kibaki lost us 610 billion. Uhuru, 608 billion. Now Ruto, in 3 years, we have lost 3.7 trillion. You get me? So Ruto is stealing with a spade. Those guys were stealing with a spoon, isn't it? Now, in total, Kenya has lost 6.7 trillion since independence, since 1963. EACC was constituted in 2010 to recover the money, isn't it? How much have they recovered? Do you know? Now, I give you statistics. In 15 years, they have recovered 28 billion from stolen funds, isn't it? Using how much money? They have spent 58.5 billion to recover 28 billion. If you are president, can you allow EACC to operate? When I become president, immediately I disband EACC. It is a washing machine. How do you spend 58.5 billion
and which
to recover
commission
28
will fight
billion?
corruption then, if you ban the...
No, if you steal money, umeiba kuku, you steal a cup, you steal 1 billion, you steal 1,000, there's a cell in Kenya. Why are we discussing about? Because you see, they'll put in a sofa set like this one you're having here with a cup of tea. You're being asked, so how much have you stolen? Yet the real thief, the ones who have stolen nothing, are being beaten in a cell. What did Ojwang steal to be beaten in a cell? Albert Ojwang, what did he steal?
Prof.
So between Albert Ojwang and the governor who has stolen 10 billion, who should be in Central Police? So let me tell you what. If you go to Singapore, there is no EACC. That's why there is no corruption. If you steal, whether you have stolen a cup, or a dog, or a cow, or a goat, or 1,000, or 20 billion, you are just arrested and you go to a cell. If all these governors know if you steal, you'll go to a cell, will they steal? If you know ministers stealing money, will go to a cell, will they steal? But if you steal, you go to EACC. You see, all these people saying they want to run for president, all of them have gone to EACC, all of them.
Okay.
And they have been cleared by EACC. Do you know why? That before you get any state appointment or election, you must be cleared by EACC. So the president himself was cleared by EACC. His deputy was cleared by EACC. All ministers were cleared by EACC. All MPs are cleared by EACC. All people in judiciary are cleared by EACC. So any corrupt person in government has been cleared by EACC. When I say they are a washing machine, I mean exactly that. They wash dirt, then they bring for us that. Ni kama unaosha mkono kwa matope, alafu unaosha kwa maji safu. Then you bring to matope, maji safu. So I'm telling you, governance is about cleaning system. And that's why in our evolved model, we say we must run a lean and clean government. Lean and clean.
Clean. Okay.
Not broad-based, lean and clean.
Okay, and recently we have seen President advocating so much, about moving Kenya from the third world countries to the first world countries. As an economist strategist who is experienced and as a professional, is Kenya ready to move from the third world country to the first world country?
Actually, Nixon, who is ready? Kenya is ready first world, being led by third world leaders. You get my point? Who turned Singapore to first world was Lee Kuan Yew, isn't it?
Yes.
He was the leading economist, isn't it? And he was having world-class thinking. Nixon, whether it's personal life or your personal business or a country, world-class wealth begins with world-class thinking. Your taxation and over-taxation and borrowing cannot turn Kenya to third world. Singapore never became wealthy by over-taxation and over-borrowing. Never.
Okay.
Over means wrong. Like oversight means lack of sight. I overlooked means you didn't look. Over-borrowing means that. So this word over, when you hear a word English, oversight, overlook, over-borrow, over-taxation means there is no taxation. You're just killing people.
Okay.
You understand? So the president, first of all, is not world class. He cannot take us to world class.
But according to him, he says that it is possible.
Let him say what he wants. But go ask in the village. Are people feeling him in terms of economy? The only thing that is trickled down in Kenya is pain. As I was coming here, I saw the woman trying to cross the road. This is Ngong Road.
Ngong Road.
She was crossing the road as if she's not even in her mind. So I asked her, Mom, what is the problem? She told me, my son, niko na deni. I have debts. In fact, I've left home just to walk away from the troubles. So if he's turning Kenya to world class or first world, let me tell you what, my brother Nixon, why I'm telling you the president has no world class thinking. Do you know that Africa is the richest continent in the world? DRC has 24 trillion worth of minerals.
Yes.
Yet the GDP is number 159 out of 174.
Absolutely.
Then the president of DRC will tell us they want to turn DRC world. DRC is already first world. It is the leader who is third world who cannot move them from third world status.
So, Prof, what you mean is that the problem with an African countries, or for us now, the problem is leaders, not even the resources. So
that's why I love teaching in the classroom.
Not even the resources.
No. You see, prosperity is not inherited. Prosperity is created. You inherit the resources, then you convert them to prosperity. It's like Jesus talked about talent. I gave you 1, you bring them to 3. I gave you 2, you make them 6, isn't it? So look here. Do you know Kenya is the most literate society in Africa? The human resource in Kenya is most developed, isn't it? You are sitting next to a professor who cannot even teach class 1 in Kenya, isn't it? Is the president using this resource well? No, he would actually arrest me. I've been arrested 12 times. He would either arrest me and put him in a jail. All these Gen Zs who are writing nice things on social media to educate the economy, isn't it? Yes. They were arrested. Look at that lady called Jerry who came up with a tool on how to check on finance bill, isn't it?
Yes.
Where was she? She was arrested. So all brilliant people, they don't want. Let me tell you something very simple. If a leader is highly qualified, he has no problem having qualified people around them because they are comfortable in their skin. For me, I have people who are qualified who can criticize me, and I have no problem because I have the intellectual asset to reply, or at least even to accept when they are better.
Okay.
But when a leader is not highly qualified, they have inferiority complex. That's why they have to create some sub-qualified people around them to look brilliant. Do you know that if you go to Sudan, and myself, we shall be called light skin, we shall be brown. So if you are a president who is not brilliant, you have to bring not so brilliant people around you to look brilliant. It's called a wingman theory.
Okay.
If I stand next to that lady there, she's so light that I'll look too dark. You understand?
Yes.
So the president cannot allow brighter people next to him because they look too dark. And you want a qualified president like the president of Singapore, who has no problem with qualified people. So the issue here is prosperity cannot be inherited. You have to create it. So how do you do that? You just combine resources. Like, let me tell you what. In Kenya, we suffer from food security, isn't it? So there are people sleeping hungry today. Do you know that we have 74 million hectares of idle land in Kenya? Isn't it? And how many rivers do you have in Kenya?
Several.
To produce food, you need water, you need land and labor, isn't it? How many people are unemployed? So if a president cannot combine factors of production, land, water, and labor, and produce food, and he's now building houses, isn't it?
Yes.
With the money for building houses, why don't you even produce something that you can sell?
Okay.
So in short, we lack leadership. And we just have people who are short-term thinking. I'm president for 5 years. Let me just steal what I can steal and go. So we are lacking leadership.
What we are talking here, because all of it resonates back to the ground, to the people themselves. Where is the problem? Because even recently, we have seen the young generation, the Gen Zs, coming out and saying we don't want this kind of leaders. They're the one taking us backwards. Where is the problem? Because at the end of the day, they are still elected. In 2027, they will go back, give out the tokens,
they're not going back.
Be elected.
No,
Where do you see?
Let me tell you, in 2027...
Because, Prof, that has been the system. Let us be realistic. It is something that has been there before.
Let me tell you.
It is the system which has the challenge.
This word system, we have proven that does not exist. This word system. I'm telling you, 2027, you are going to be shocked. You know, some people are still living as if a revolution has taken place, my brother. You know, when a plane has left, it has left. But you are going to be shocked. I know, people don't see me in the media. Like when I came from the US, I was never featured in any mainstream media, isn't it?
Yes.
When Gachagua came from the US, you focus on him, isn't it? When Gachagua was in the US, you show him there, isn't it? Which media showed I was in the US? None. What were they doing in the US? Almost nothing, isn't it? Me was addressing the world-leading economist. I was distributing food to poor people in New York City. Did you feature that? You did not. Because it does not matter because it's Ogola, isn't it? Today, before I came here, I was already talking to people in Kawangware and Kangemi. Do they know? The media doesn't show, isn't it? Must they see? No. Let me tell you what. A revolution is never televised. It comes as breaking news. I'm sure you are covering news on 25th of June 2024, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You just saw breaking news, they are in parliament, isn't it? That's what will happen, my brother.
Really?
A revolution took place in 2024.
Do you mean we are going to have a new set of leaders in 2027?
I'm going to be president.
Not the current one?
I'm going to be president.
Okay, Prof. But
when I'm president, who will be the MPs? Will not be these thugs. There will be very different crop of leaders.
But Prof, you need a group of leaders who will help you in parliament and
I have
a
them.
very vocal party.
I have them. Must you see them in the media? You know, for you are waiting to see people in the media, they are the leaders. You have to, a mind shift. Do you know what's happening? I'm not, this is not mainstream media, isn't it? And I don't care about mainstream media.
Have you worked in other regions in the country? For
I told
people
you
to know you
yesterday,
because
on
you want
Sunday,
to be the president
on
of
Sunday,
Kenya.
I was in 2 churches in Kibra, isn't it? All the pastors in Kibra endorsed me. You want to see them on Citizen? Citizen cannot show that, isn't it? Then I left there, I went to Dandora. I was in 2 churches, you know, Wakorinos were endorsing me.
But you are talking of Nairobi, Prof.
So I've told
and
you,
you want to be the
let's
president.
move. I'm just still
you
moving.
have to go to other regions
I'm still
and
moving.
get votes.
I'm still moving. I left there, I went to Riru. Riru is in Kiambu, isn't it? I was there in 2 churches. You understand? On Friday, I don't want to say where I am, but I'm actually in past Nanyuki. You understand? Okay. Let me just say past Nanyuki. So they can search for me past Nanyuki. You understand? Do you know, in 2023, this journey has not begun now. Okay. 2023, I was endorsed by Kaya elders. As one of the elders, I'm called Karisa.
But
Karisa means young shepherd.
Many
so
leaders
on the
are
ground,
endorsed, Prof.
No, but you see,
what really means?
But you see, why did they endorse?
They
me?
will support you.
Let me ask you, what makes a Kaya elder endorse a Luo? Do you know the process? Do you know why they have done so? What I've done for them? What I've done for communities? Like, for example, I went there, I was in community with the Chonyi. I was there with them. We even had a ceremony how Chonyis prepare their traditional food. I was there preparing with them with my wife and we ate with them. Kauma. We were in all those villages. Then you say, oh, this guy should be endorsed as a Kaya elder.
Okay, briefly.
So what I'm trying to say,
Prof.
We have traversed the country. I'm sure you should be asking other candidates what they are doing, isn't it? But I've also campaigned diaspora. The Kenyan diaspora believes on whom they want to elect president.
Okay.
And they don't see these other guys, you have big names. Why do you think Justin Mutiri was saying that welcome back from your presidential campaign in New York? If I can go to New York and campaign in New York and even distribute food, what about Kisumu? What about Siaya? What about Migori? What about Nyandarua? On Saturday, I'll be in Nyandarua.
Okay.
You hear me? And I'm not going to new people. They already know me. I've been working with them. So I'm not saying to drum a lot of support for me. What I'm telling you, that you just maintain what you see in social media until breaking news. When it happened in Namibia, so there's something that happened in Namibia. Did you see it on mainstream news? Nepal.
Yes,
did you see
Nepal.
in mainstream news what was going to happen? So you wait for a shock.
So, Prof,
Yes.
briefly, because you want to be the president of Kenya,
Yes.
what are some of the foreign policies and, you know, the internal policies that you're going to bring on board?
Yeah, first of all, I did analysis and found out what is the Kenyan image abroad. And you know, the person who carries the Kenyan image, one is the President of the Republic of Kenya. I saw that when the former president were doing stuff, and I've done a lot of analysis there, and I'm a governance, and I found out that the best way to look at Kenyan policy is based on 3 things. One is that foreign policy should help have peace with your neighbors. So how do we get peace with our neighbors? This we have not done very well. Like now you see, for example, some Kenyans being abducted in Uganda, some being abducted in Tanzania. It does not bring peace between Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
Absolutely.
So I will come with the policy to ensure there's peace between Kenya and other nations. So there should be free movement of people to come to Kenya and also Kenyans to move some places. There will be too much restrictions. But at the same time, we must also look for how priority can be given to Kenyans so that jobs that cannot be done by Kenyans cannot be done by other people outside.
Okay.
For example, do you know that when government want to service their vehicles, they give a lot of money to Toyota Kenya? Like all these government, the government has 1,685 vehicles. Each of them is serviced every 2 weeks with 300,000 shillings per 2 weeks. It is around 6.8 billion shillings going to Toyota Kenya, which is a Japanese company. Servicing a new car, you just need to add oil and water. Kenyans can do that work. You get me? And that can bring a lot of money to Kenyans around. So I believe that Kenya must have peace with its neighbors. Secondly, prosperity. Kenya must prosper, but not alone. You know, if your neighbors prosper, if you prosper and your neighbors don't prosper, you become you get a problem. For example, if Kenya becomes first world, the way they are saying it, and Tanzania does not become first world, then what will happen? Tanzanians will come here. Like now, you see that war taking place in Tanzania. The president should have not congratulated Samia Suluhu. That was a mistake. Because if Tanzania goes down, Tanzania becomes Kenyan problem. And that population is very big. Imagine if Tanzania gets refugees flocking into Kenya, what will you do? So the same way, we need Kenya to prosper, but also prosper with the countries in the region. And then lastly, competitive. Kenya is the most strategically located place. In fact, Nixon, Kenya is described as an anchor state. There are two anchor states in Africa, South Africa and Kenya. They tried Ghana, it cannot work. It's only Kenya and South Africa. So Kenya being an anchor state, Kenya need to be very competitive like a hub. Kenya is a national hub for aircrafts, even for ships. If you want to access the Indian Ocean, it's Kenya. But if you want to access the Southern Cape, you go to South Africa. So what I'm trying to say is that being an anchor state, Kenya needs to prosper. Kenya needs to have peace with the neighbors, and also Kenya needs to be globally competitive. By being competitive, we must produce, so that even if you have people coming from other countries to work in Kenya, we have jobs that are actually good enough. So for me, that is my main foreign policy. In fact, I saw, when I was at the UN, I found that the president went to the UN and said he wants to sit in the UN Security Council. That's useless. Do you know why it's useless? You cannot be respected if you cannot even produce food for people at home. You cannot offer free education. You want to be in the Security Council table with the veto powers, and you are still begging for food. So Kenya must be competitive economically, so much so that we'll be invited without applying. Do you know? do you know what it means to be invited without being applied? Like now, Nixon, if you walk, a woman tells you, "I love you," even before you talk to her. Don't you think that's powerful? But if you go buy for her juice, anasema tutaonana, nothing is going on. You tell her, let me send you a M-Pesa. So we want to have global competitiveness. People would ask us to sit on that table. And the best way to do is to be competitive. And I told the UN secretary, I told the economist in the Wall Street in Washington, in New York City, that the global, I think the president could have addressed this. I think I need to advise him next time. When he goes to the UN, he should tell them the global financial and economic architecture for the world was founded in 1945. 1945, there is no single African country that was independent. So the current infrastructure, the way it's being run, there was no contribution from Africa. So instead of looking for a seat in the UN Security Council, we should be looking for how to change the global financial economic architecture that has put Africa on debt, borrowing, and high taxation.
Why,
and reverse it.
Why presidency and not any other seat, governor, MP, or even a senator? Why did you run for presidency?
The Kenyan problem is state house. Starts from there. Because why should I become a governor? Then I go straight out saying nimekuja kutafuta maendeleo.
But some Kenyans will say that you need enough experience. You need to have been in this political space and leadership for a while so that you get to lead the whole nation.
Nixon, which experience did Trump have? Why don't you ask Trump whether he needs experience? But put Trump aside. The question is, experience in what? In corruption? You tell me one experience the president has that is better than mine. He was an MP, no show where he was, isn't it? He was a minister, corruption is the case. So he has more experience in corruption than me. He has more experience in misgovernance than me. For me, as a professor, I have not gotten here by someone pushing me, No one has held my hand. I'm a son of a catechist. I was born to a family of 11 children. My father earned 1,500. And I've never been benefited from state gas. I've never been getting any money from government. Someone who gets fired and can still eat, don't you think that person has got something behind his head? So what I'm trying to say, you don't need these experiences people are talking about. Governance is very clear, isn't it? And to end why this is not a very big issue, because I don't want to go into personality, do you know that this country has a manual? When you buy a new phone, don't you get a manual? So do you need experience to buy a new phone? So this country has got 3 governance manuals on how this country should be run, isn't it? The first manual is COC 2010. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 explains how you need to pass a bill, how you need to appoint everything. So why do you need experience there? Secondly, you have got the laws of Kenya made in parliament that explains how you need to do everything. The problem is the president has a manual, but he has his own manual, which is his personal manual. Apart from, that's why everyone is caught against him. So Nixon, those who are no cheat. I'm telling young people listening to me, please don't let no one tell you need experience. An MP's role is defined by the Constitution. You just need to read it. In fact, you just read it overnight, tomorrow you can be an MP. Better than these thieves whom you think you respect here. I can tell you, women, join politics, take leadership. There is no experience you need. Everything is written to you by manual. You don't need to do anything. Imagine, it describes you how an MP behaves. In fact, it's like someone telling you how to eat with a fork and knife. Which experience do you need? Nothing. Africans, we are born in the villages. We come to town one night, we know how to eat with a fork and knife.
And we saw you, you joined other leaders within the United Opposition on Friday, you know, while launching the book of JB, the former Attorney General. The book titled The Fight for Order. Are we going to see you joining the other leaders within the United Opposition to take President Ruto home in 2027?
I think there's been an invitation from them that I work with them, and I told them that it's still too early because, first of all, I want Kenyans to know Fred Ogola. I don't want Kenyans to know Fred Ogola inside the United Opposition. You know, if you don't build your identity, I told you that before you take a product to the shop, you must pass through the stages of being a product. The shop is there. People are coming to buy. But who is Fred Ogola? I'll be confused by those people. So for now, I want to be known. Who is Fred Ogola? I don't want to ride on their brand. I told you the other thing to do is to disrupt the system. Opposition allows them there. So I will come in to disrupt the opposition and take the ticket. And I can tell you there's a chance that I can be the candidate.
Will they support you?
What choice do they have? You know, once you have been disrupted, what do you do? What choice do they have? Because first of all, the opposition will be strong by saying they have money and I don't have. Now, the issue about money is not the issue. They have a party I don't have. The issue about party is no longer the issue, isn't it? But of course, mind, I think I have something behind my, between my ears, isn't it? So you have to know politics. 3 things are important. Right. 1 is money. 2 is people, and 3 is knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge I have, isn't it? Maybe I'm looking for people, isn't it? And then money will come. So if you have the 3, I don't lack anything. Actually, instead of asking me to join them, I think you may think it's a joke, they might actually join me. Because we are equal partners. You saw JB saying I'm a candidate like him, like others, isn't it? So they were talking about that table of 6 people, isn't it? I think they forgot one thing.
You were to be there.
I was to be the 7th one. I remember 7 is a better number than 6.
Okay, Prof. See you. Thank you for showing up.
Yes.
Looking forward to have you once again in other conversations.
Thank you, my brother.
And all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that is where we conclude our conversation right here together with Professor Fred Ogola, who is an aspiring president of the Republic of Kenya. He says he has a good plans for this country. That is what he has said in this conversation. So we'll see you next time in another conversation. I've been your host, Nixon Jau.